Hey, Boo! Come talk to me. Hey, Boo! Y'all gotta hurry me up or whatever, because I can't see y'all. TGIF or whatever. Hey, everybody. Hey, Nate. It's a woo morning. I need your number and that's that. I need your number and that's that. How many dudes carry it like that? I need your number and that's that. Send me them digits. Send me them digits, baby. Hey, Bill, happy Friday. Yo, he said don't let me in it. I might just breed you. I need a couple of more of you on the planet. Hi, y'all. Happy Friday. Let's talk about it. Y'all know I gotta pray over my broadcast. We bind and banish any devils and demons. Anybody here for ill intention? Shame on you. Good morning, y'all. I need your number and that's that. I need your number and that's that. Stop. Hi, y'all. So I ain't go to work today because I had to heal myself. I had to heal myself this morning, y'all. So she ain't at work, so I said, let me come taste the people. How y'all is? I was going through it this morning. Let me bring some cowbell. I was going through it. I'm taking y'all back to ancient Egypt. Thank you, Bill! Thank you for the love! Have a little chocolate drop! He loved me pretty too young, y'all, but I accept all love! I accept all love gifts of love. Hello, gorgeous! Hello, handsome! I love y'all. Y'all heal my soul. So I had to heal myself this morning, y'all. I was under psychic attack. Y'all know I wasn't drinking last night. I woke up like I had a whole hangover, right? So that means somebody was trying to tap into my crown chakra. And may you blow out your mental health trying to fuck with mine because she protected. So I had to wake up and do some crystal healing. I had to anoint my head with oil. I had to sit in the sun. I had to get some light therapy. But I'm here. Good morning, y'all. So I want to talk to y'all about being a warrior up in this bitch. No, I want to talk to y'all about forgiveness. Oh, to do some dance therapy too. So y'all gotta do whatever y'all need to do to get y'all juices flowing. You know what I'm saying? You might have to ask the spirit for some more cowbell. You be like, I need a little more. Until you start feeling better. I don't know why they fuck with me, y'all. They just make me stronger. Okay. You know I'm all that. Alright, y'all. I'm here to teach about forgiveness today. My bang won't let me be great. Give me 1 second. Let me get this bang together. Okay. Hi, y'all. TGIF or whatever. Hey, Keith! Gotta say it with my teeth. How you do? I love you over there. Cause it's Friday. See what happened when y'all try to attack me? My ancestors tell me what to do. And I heal myself. He said, wait, yo, how many people be biting your fucking style, right? Cause you over here being humble, chilling, staying in your own motherfucking lane, right? Motherfuckers are scoping you out cause I know you right. Then they wanna bite your shit and then go try to act like you know. It's only one original. Where the twin flames at? Ew. Okay, I'm done. Oh, hold on. Y'all not have to do all my dances. Y'all, music is the shit. Whip it. Okay, I'm done. All right, so let's talk about forgiveness. So with forgiveness, all right, so I hear a lot of people talk about I can forgive, but I can't forget. That's beautiful, wonderful, and amazing, right? But I want to make sure that when we say that we forgive, but we don't forget, that we're really forgiving in the right way, right? Because I come on here and I talk about unconditional love and forgiveness, right? But I'm also here to demystify stuff because people be saying shit and it just be a cliche, y'all. So I come to break it down for y'all and make it simple and easy. So refer to my page because I did put some stuff up about forgiveness today, right? And God has been dealing with me about this, but I just needed to get like the right wording. Like I needed to wrap my mouth around it, right? Exactly what it is that I wanted to say, right? So we want to talk about forgiveness, and we know that a lot of times we hear that forgiveness is not for the person that you're forgiving, but your forgiveness is for you, right? So the reasons why we want to operate in forgiveness is because holding on to resentment, bitterness, or anger affects us, right? It affects our health and it affects our mental health, right? So it does us no good to hold bitterness, resentment, or anger or ill will towards anybody, right? So we're gonna deem and define unforgiveness as or the feeling of unforgiveness as ill will, right? Bitterness, resentment, or anger against another person for something that they did to you, right? Now we have a right to feel bitterness, resentment, and anger against somebody that did something to us, right? Because that's going to be our initial reaction. We're human, right? We're human and we have feelings. So whether we wear our feelings on our sleeves and we're one of those types of people that are very expressive about our feelings, or whether we kind of keep our feelings tucked in, we still have these feelings, right? So I think I put 5 different things on my page, right? About ways to ensure that you have truly steps into forgiveness, right? So one thing is you don't want to repress your feelings. So like I was saying, like we're very justified in feeling the way that we feel about the shit that we feel a kind of way about, right? When people do things to us that are hurtful or they betray our trust or they're untrustworthy, that is hurtful, right? So we want to make sure that we're not repressing those feelings. Now, we want to be careful how it is that we're expressing those feelings and who it is that we're expressing them to, right? So what we don't want to do is, I heard the great, he is a preacher I used to listen to. His name is, damn, I'm drawing a blank. But he talks about not socializing your pain, right? So what we want to be very important, what's one thing that's very important not to do is trivialize our pain or our heartache by putting it on social media, right? Announcing things, just bleeding on our statuses, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's okay if you're feeling a kind of way or you're deeply entrenched in your feelings to not be on social media, y'all. Like take a break so you don't bleed all over your statuses, right? Because your healing is a very private thing, right? And you owe it to yourself. You fucking owe it to yourself to heal if people did fucked up shit to you, right? Y'all gotta excuse my language. God didn't. I asked God to help me with this cussing thing, but He's still working on me, right? So yeah. So I'm a little rough with it, but that's okay. Just pay attention to the message. So a lot of messed up things happen to us. And another thing, people want to be so picky and pick you apart and be like, oh, they can't be this and they can't be that because they do this and they cuss and they drink and this, that, and the other. But yet and still, like, y'all watch other people do this shit every single day and they don't give back to the community. They just an ain't shit type of person or just like a waste of space, lifetime, and energy, right? And we're not talking about all the shit that they're doing, right? Then somebody wants to step out and do something and be a help, and people want to pick them apart anyway. That's why I'm going to stay being me every day, all day. So, and no apologies. Let me ring the bell on that. So, anyway, you guys, so, right. So, in our forgiving and not forgetting, right? We want to remember what happened. We want to remember the details of what happened, right? So that's the not forgetting. But there is a part of forgetting that goes into forgiveness. And that's the part when we forget about holding those negative emotions against that person. That ill will, that anger, that resentment, and that bitterness, right? We want to not be holding on to those feelings. So we want to remember what they did, the act of what they did, but we don't want to remember all the emotions because the emotions of what they did is what's unhealthy to us, right? So I just want to make sure that we're clear that when we say I forgive, but I don't forget, that the don't forget part is the act of what they did. So we don't want to suppress our feelings about what happened, right? We want to evaluate what they did. We want to evaluate it. We want to look at it and we want to be honest with ourselves, no matter how much it hurts, right? We want to be honest with ourselves about what happened. Why? Because we want to store that in our wisdom bank, right? And what did I say wisdom was? Wisdom is when you go through an experience, the experience may hurt. You can recollect on the experience, right? Because it's in your wisdom bank, but you no longer have those emotions tied to what it is that happened, okay? So ways to be able to let go of that resentment is to stay optimistic, right? So oftentimes you guys hear me say, daydream about your future, like daydream about the life that you want, right? That keeps you optimistic. It keeps you knowing and remembering that it's still good in this world. Because sometimes the things that we go through are so traumatic, it will make you feel like there's no good people in this world. Like this world ain't shit, right? And then especially if you're a star seed, so you already feeling a little disconnected. You like, fuck this place, fuck this planet, right? But we want to live in optimism. We want to know and understand we can manifest whatever it is that we want, right? So it's okay to live in a state of always being optimistic, right? Being hopeful and positive about your future, being hopeful and positive about the things that God has for you, regardless to what it is that you went through, right? We can never forget that God is a good God and He gives good gifts, right? Regardless of what we went through. What we went through was a lesson to be learned to add to our wisdom bank, and it probably helps you probably helps strengthen your gifts, right? Strengthen your discernment, strengthen your confidence in yourself, right? Another way to ensure that you are in true forgiveness is to write a letter, right? You may not like some of us, like the people that we deal with, like they're just not good people, right? And sometimes we deal with people that don't make it easy for us to be able to communicate our truths with them, right? So what we can do in writing a letter is we can state our truths, right? We can state what it is that happened from our point of view, right? In our own honesty, right? You can write that letter to that particular person and you don't have to send it. You can burn it, you can rip it up, whatever it is that you need to do to symbolically symbolize your forgiveness or your letting go of the situation that happened. Okay? It sounds corny, y'all, but it worked. What else? Don't suppress your feelings, stand in your truth. I also want you guys to add the experience to your wisdom bank, but I want you to forget the negative emotions that go along with the experience, right? Because the negative emotion affects us, it doesn't affect the person, right? So unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping that somebody else will die, right? What you drink don't make them shit, right? So we want to be making sure that we are truly letting go, right? We don't forget what happened, but we forget all those negative emotions, which will only come back to harm us, right? Harm our mental health. Holding on to unforgiveness causes agitation in your own spirit, right? It disrupts your own mental health, right? It causes depression, right? It causes anger. And can you imagine? Oh, and then also, too, it causes us to live in our amygdala. And remember, I talked about last night, when we live in our amygdala, we are not living in an abundant mindset. We're living in a scarcity mindset because the amygdala is the only purpose of the amygdala is fight or flight. Am I going to fight or am I run? That's the only purpose of the amygdala is to figure out one or two of those things, right? And oftentimes, because we have grown up in urban communities, right? A lot of us live in our amygdala. So we're learning now how to not live in the amygdala because that affects our body too. The amygdala creates cortisol, right? Cortisol sets in our body, namely in our stomach muscles, right? Stress, blockages, and our energy, things of that nature, right? So we want to stand on our truth, right? We want to not repress our feelings, right? We want to remember what happened. We want to state our truth, whether it's verbally or whether we got to write a letter, because people are not easy to talk to, right? Good morning. How are you? So what else? It was one more, you guys. Don't repress it. Write it down. I want y'all to write a letter. I want y'all to not forget what happened. Oh, this is a big one. This is a very, very big one. All right. This is one that I use, right? God taught me this about a year ago. Look at the situation. This is huge, but this is a good one, okay, y'all? Can you look at the situation from a practical standpoint? Can you look at the situation? This is high vibe shit, y'all. This is high vibe shit I'm giving y'all. Can you look at the situation from that particular person's point of view? Can you take a moment to step into their shoes and understand why it is that they did what it is that they did to you? That's high vibe shit, y'all. But that's high level forgiveness, right? You start to step into their shoes and kind of understand like why it happened. It doesn't justify it. Let's be clear. It does not justify it at all. But it nullifies some of the bullshit that you feel, the confusion, the betrayal, things of that nature. You just step into their shoes and say, okay, well, if I were them, would I feel X, Y, and Z considering A, B, C, one, two, three, right? That is another way to be able to step into true forgiveness. Or even the article said, and I never even thought about this, kind of like interviewing that particular person and asking them questions mentally, right, about what it is that they did. Now, this may sound like a lot, this may sound a little far-fetched, but the reality is, guys, we gotta heal, right? And there's many different ways to be able to heal from different experiences, right? So as we are saying, I can forgive, but I can't forget. I just want us to be reminded of what it is that we're not forgetting, right? We are not forgetting what they did because we're adding that to wisdom, right? Wisdom is knowledge that we gained from a certain experience, but we no longer hold negative emotions about that experience in our mind. We know the acts that they did, we know what was done. We need to make account of that because we don't want it to happen again, right? So as we are forgiving and not forgetting, let's forget the resentment, the anger, the ill will, and the bitterness that we feel, right, against those people that betrayed our trust or whatever the fuck they did, right? But at the same time, we want to remember what it is that they did so we can add it to our wisdom base so we don't have to go through it again, y'all. Okay. So that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all on this here Friday. So to those I love you. And to those who love me, I love you too.